Hi, this is Malcolm Blight, and you're listening to the Crowject.
Welcome to episode 250 of the Crowject podcast, the big 250, the big milestone here for the Crowject.
Hell yeah.
Thank you to our sponsors in Solely Design, Nathaniel Coffee and Panini, Trojan Aluminium and ARC General Maintenance. Tonight we'll be discussing the big loss, not really that big loss, to Melbourne, your thoughts and voice messages, all your favourite segments and much, much more, as well as plenty of gather round content from what we can remember.
Just quietly, 250 is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Massive.
It
That's
is.
halfway to 500.
Oh
Bloody
my
hell.
God.
Jeez,
We're
we'll
getting old.
see you in 6 years. So thank you very much for listening through 250 episodes. If you've been here since the start, drop a comment in a post and let us know and give us your favourite memory, whether it was Cream's potato masher or whatever
Mine's
it may
the
be.
steak.
Yeah, the French onion
Yeah,
steak.
French onion steak.
250 episodes. If we average that each of those was an hour, that's 250 hours, which is how many days?
10.
Oh my God.
0.5
days. Thank you.
That's really not that much.
Project calculator.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you haven't listened to all the episodes, if you've got a spare
Won't even
10.5
take
days.
you a month.
The thing is, that's just what the people hear.
Oh,
They
I
only
know.
hear an hour. We catch up for 3 hours for each of those episodes. So if one of us was here for half that, you're looking at 375 hours.
Jesus, which is how many days?
Who knows? But it's a wonder we haven't killed each other.
Oh,
Been close a couple of times, so it's haven't quite right there. So also tonight on Patreon we'll have Segment Street where we'll have Fantasy Lands, a bit more of a gather round review, even though we'll talk about it in the main pod here as well. Beryl and Cecil of the week and much, much more, including a real stitch up Benny and the Bets loss from Sydney Swans, you mother. Yeah. Anyway, thank you again to all of our amazing Patreons. If you'd like to sign up yourself, head to patreon.com/Crowject. And of course, it is not just myself here this evening. To my right, we have Elodie. How are you?
Hello, Ben. I'm good. It's good to be back. I've not been on for
been a while.
over a month. Yeah, I've been travelling
Travelling the
around
world.
doing other things, not watching the Crows play. It's been nice.
Beating up kids instead. Apparently, allegedly.
Posing
So-
for fucking 400 photos.
What can I say? I'm a celebrity in India.
pretty simple.
Yeah, no, good to be back. Now are you, Ben?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. You pulled up well after the weekend. Hey.
I'm very surprised. It's much different to this time last year. To my left, we've got Jade. Welcome back.
Thank you, Ben. How you going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, don't know how many brain cells left, but we'd go. We move.
Power through.
Smash
we
the
push
unders.
ahead.
Kareem, how are you?
Good. Raring to go.
That's good. You've been on a tour
Raring to
of
go.
Tony and Mark's Foodland this evening on your way here.
Yeah. Took a. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. Alright. Fuck. We're off to a river start. So, for those of you that don't know, we use an iPad, like a tablet, for the sound effects. And Pete has it hooked up to his Wi-Fi. And out of nowhere, a message has just popped up from the top saying, with no context from Peter, and it says, "No smiley Fritz." Why not? A 3-word message. I'm tempted to just,
Message doesn't want to.
That's the saddest 3 words I've ever heard. No smiley Fritz. What kind of monster says no smiley Fritz?
It's tough.
It's always smiley Fritz.
What do you reckon the kid did wrong?
No, I can't do it. I think it's logged into Miranda's.
Do they,
Why not?
do they still give out free slices of smiley Fritz to kids at the shop?
Yeah.
So they
The cost of
do?
living too
Oh,
much,
man.
mate.
Oh, yeah, nah.
You just get a slice of bung Fritz now. You get a little cube of
No.
bung Fritz on a toothpick.
You get a sad face on the free. That was like half the size, but.
Sorry, yeah, half a face only.
And
Well,
lastly, off the camera over there, we have Sophie, who is lotion or aloe vera pit because she got sunburnt quite badly yesterday for fact checking. Welcome, Soph.
Hello, thank you for having me over in the corner where I belong.
Yeah. Stay away from the rest of us with that sunburn. No, you don't even look that sunburnt. You don't look too bad.
It's just like on my chest.
oh,
and my
yeah,
legs.
yeah. You're a bit,
It's
yeah.
actually in the shape of like Tasmania. I feel like I just got sad that Tassie were officially a team and they couldn't be part of Gather Round, so I just decided to get sunburnt in the shape of Tasmania.
And it was at the Battle of the Expansions when that happened,
really
right?
was,
So,
yeah.
you were just supporting Tassie in that game.
Exactly.
And that's really wholesome.
Give that a clap.
Yeah, go on.
Well done, Soph. Now, we must get into the Crows game, of course, Thursday night. Jade, what happened on Thursday night?
Well, we lost. We
Really?
lost. Yes, we did.
Surprise, surprise.
I never saw this one coming. To a crowd of 48,020 people, which I feel was pretty impressive. Pretty
Highest
impressive
to gather
turnout. Yeah. Crows finished up 8-15-63, losing to the D's 10-18-78.
Do we need
Not
to say
good. That scoreline doesn't really do the game justice. That makes us look not too bad. What I was watching on field was not good. Not good.
That was a 6-goal game, minimum.
Yeah,
Minimum.
100%.
It was, a sight to see. That's how I would describe it.
Yes, yeah, a real contrast to the start of last year's gather round. Hey, this was
Very much
This
so.
was, even if there was a neutral supporter, this would have been a tough watch. Like it was. How did
Yeah.
two AFL teams kick a combined 33 behinds in a
Yeah.
game? That's
Yeah.
just.
And last year, didn't we
messed
literally
up.
kick like 9 or 10 goals in the first quarter?
Yeah, yeah.
We kicked 8 goals for the whole game.
Cream, there's an age-old saying. What is it?
Oh,
Bad kicking is bad football.
Thank you.
that's very wise from you, Cream.
Honestly. And if you can kick 18 goals 33, what do you expect? 8-15, you're never going to win a game of footy.
Yeah, tough. Well, of the goals that we actually did kick, Elodie, who kicked them?
We had old mate Fogarty with 2. And then we just had single goal scorers in Rankin, Laird, Walker, Keys, Dawson, and Rochelle.
Indeed. So, going into the game, what are our thoughts on selection? So we had
Dog shit.
Tell us how you really feel, Cream.
So we had Nankervis, Butts, Parnell, Cook, and Berry in for Murphy, Miller, Scholl, Borlace, and Pedler, who was omitted. Please elaborate on your thoughts on selections.
Billy Dowling should have got a debut. How did he
Absolutely.
not get a debut? I'm sorry. I know you're playing Melbourne, but Berry ain't it. Like, and Elodie and I have fought over Berry before.
I'm holding my tongue here, but you're right, Cream. I'm glad you jumped on board with this.
He ain't it. Like, he had a good preseason. Then he stuck around in the team. He eventually got dropped to the sub, and then he got dropped completely. And then at the first available opportunity, they brought him back when he wasn't necessarily banging the door down for selection.
Yep.
No, he didn't even have a game.
No.
Yeah. So you just go, what the?
And you got a kid in the twos who's been... It's not like he's just come out of the blue and been playing well. He was playing well all of last year. And he's carried that into this year. Give him a crack. What do you got to lose?
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Better yet, and especially if you're going to use Berry as the sub. Use Billy Dowling as the sub. He doesn't have to play a full game. But just let him get his feet wet. Bring him in halfway through the third quarter. He plays for a quarter and a half. Lord knows we weren't winning the fucking game anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
And just see if he does anything that impresses. I didn't mind Cook coming in. I think Cook did some good things.
Yeah.
It'd be good if he was accurate. I think he might have kicked 0 goal 2 or something like that. I think he had a few shots on goal, including a long range effort late. But
Yeah.
back when you're stuck for selection, like you're stuck for, and it's just a matter of, are you going to bring that Dan Curtin kid in too early
Yeah.
when we're
yeah, exactly.
losing every week and you damage his confidence? I think it's...
Yeah, it's a bit of a balance, isn't it? Between you do want to get some games into the kids, but at the same time, if we're doing this shit, you don't want to throw them straight into the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, against a midfield of, Oliver, Petrarca, Gawn, Viney.
Yeah,
so
it's a
it's
bit
a fair
rough, but-
midfield.
Well, that's the thing. Oliver did nothing, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he had a pretty
All
shocking
night.
game, didn't he?
Yeah, 47 points in fantasy. What a stinker.
Was he tagged or something?
I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't
We
know.
can't afford to send someone to tag.
Yeah, that's a good point. We players barely know how to play for our own team. Let alone
That's one less person that can go and get the ball for us.
I was struggling with that to start with. Forgive my ignorance because I said I've not watched a whole bunch of footy yet this year. This is basically round 1 for me. Like I'm just getting into it now. Which
Must be nice.
Oh, and one. Let's go.
But was Pedler? Has he not been it this year?
Well,
He was really shit.
I think he's been... utilised in strange positions.
Yeah, I'm
which
not
hasn't
quite sure
helped.
why he's playing where he is.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Where's he been
biggest
playing?
thing.
Well, when we played against Geelong, Nixie used him as a negating player against Tom Stewart, which works like a
It
charm.
was the most bizarre matchup, seriously.
Yeah, that's
And
strange.
It was a really bad game for him because then when they took him off of Tom Stewart, he just keep kicking the ball to Tom Stewart.
He just couldn't get away from
He
it.
just loves Tom Stewart. If I can't run with him, I want to kick it to
In
him.
his mind, all he's thinking is Stewart.
Stewart. Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I
But-
don't think he's been horrible, but he's not been great.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the Crows in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, I don't mean to turn the podcast into explain the season to Elodie. I could probably do that in my own time, but yeah, I was just curious because Pedler did like show a lot last year.
Yeah.
And then I guess Borlase, so he's still just
He's had some
Doing
good
his thing.
games this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's been
Oh, my
doing all right.
shoulders, yeah.
But yeah, if fans are coming here looking for optimism and just painting a picture, this ain't it.
Yeah, no.
I thought Nank was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
not
happy with
bad.
him. Yeah,
I like the fact that he started on the ground. Of all the people that got brought in, I'm glad that they did make Berry the sub. I would have hated if they started Berry and they made Nankervis the sub or
yeah.
whatever. Like the fact that he got a full run at it is really good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
At what point did they sub Burgess off?
Just after half time, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So what do we think? Who were our best? Away from all the negativity, I mean, there's a lot of it, but who did we think stood out and was our best? We'll start over with you, Cream. Who was one of your best?
Are we doing bungee medal now? Should we do it while we're going through the best or what?
That makes a bit of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, why not?
Right, let's go with that. Give us your
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Well, Saligo was best on ground.
Yep.
And he was the only one from our team to receive coaches' votes.
Yep.
He got 5 of them, so both coaches obviously thought he did something.
Yeah.
Second up, probably...
It's not hard to pick one player who played okay.
Probably Mark Keane.
Yeah.
I thought he had another good game off the back of his good game against Freo.
Yep.
It's hard for all the defenders at the minute when the ball's coming in there as often as it is. And third, I'd probably say... Josh Worrell.
He was
Okay.
Not a
decent.
bad
Yeah.
shout.
Yeah.
Soph, what about you?
I've given 3 votes to Sligo,
Yep.
2 to Keane, and 1 to Laird. I couldn't resist. He's
Hey,
my
Laird Roses.
favourite new full forward.
All right. Jade, who you got?
I've gone 3 for Kane. I think he has been very good this year, and especially down back, I feel like our back line was probably where everyone was most concerned at the start of the season. I feel like that's like our better,
It's been a crazy
better
flip, hasn't
line.
it?
Yeah, so I think there's been a bit of a flip there, but I thought Kane was good. I had Sligo with 2 and then Maxi with 1.
Rate that. And 2 games in a row for Keeney having over 20 touches.
Good lad.
I've gone with Saligo for the 3, Keane for the 2, and Rankin with 1. He had 10 score involvements, 18 touches, and kicked 1 goal, 3. So he could have had a big night, but just didn't quite get it done. Elodie?
Yeah, I'm going Sully as well for the 3. This game, I was saying to someone, this game feels like it was weeks ago. I think that's just because there's been so many games footy. So I had to rack my brain a bit, but Rankin did stand out in my brain a bit too. I remember seeing he was definitely on the field. I remember seeing him there.
It's a good start.
So I'll give my 2 to Rankin. Can I give my 1 to Christian Petrarca?
I'm going to go with no.
Oh, but he couldn't cook a mean ravioli.
He could.
Who will I go with then? I guess I'll go Keane as well. Yeah, he's been a good boy, and everyone that got him in fantasy is a genius. Saw a few people that got him in, and yeah, not even a fantasy land expert like me thought of that.
It's a good shout. Very good shout. So that leaves the votes with Saligo gets the 3, Keane gets the 2, and Rankin gets the 1. think that's probably pretty close. That's what I had as my 3. So
Nice.
That's all right. So we'll have the tally up for the total leaderboard. I think Saligo would be pushing number 1 on the leaderboard now. We're getting the 3 votes for us here. We will now move on to just a few other general points. Pete's put, why are we so slow off of half back? Are we hesitant? Are we gun shy? What's the issue?
Because we don't know how to move the ball forward. And
Just seem confused.
So, let's go stats, because you know I'm a stats man.
Oh, you love numbers.
Whip them
We're
out.
not.
Whip them out.
So, the Crows have an extra 60 touches, right, for the game. They win the hitouts. They take more marks. They have 6 more inside 50s.
Oh, fuck.
But their inside 50s per goal is 6.75 to 4.8 for Melbourne. But the most damning stat is the percentage of inside 50s for a score. Melbourne 52.1%. So less than once every second time Melbourne's scoring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're at 35%. So it's 1 for every 3 times we go inside. And people will touch on it when we go through the voice messages. But we've been saying for weeks, the forward line is the thing that looks the most different. And the first goal that we kicked the other night, it was Rankin, that goal that he kicked. They tried to hit him up coming out of the goal square to his right-hand side. It's bounced 3 metres in front of him. He's had to trap it with his hand, grab it, spin around, and kick a snap for our first goal. We just make it look so difficult to score. So if you're coming off of half-back, like, where are we giving it? Like, it just looks like there's no cohesion all the way from the backs to the forwards, because whenever anyone goes to kick it inside 50, they're fucking butchering it. Our best bet is just a 50-50 contest, or a chaos ball, as Dwayne Russell would call it, that ends up in a goal.
Pretty much. There's no structure going forward anymore. It's just, kick it in hope, and sometimes the hope pays off, and most of the time it doesn't.
It's interesting to, just try and comprehend what changed from last year. Are we still doing the same thing and teams have just figured it out, or have they tried to change it up and it's not working? It's a conundrum.
Obviously, the personnel is different. And Tex is by no means, I want to say, half the player he was last year, which definitely hurts. But it shouldn't be up to a 33, 34-year-old to try and maintain that level in his 15th year.
Yeah.
Like, this is where the young kids, the small forwards, Burgess that we brought in, and Fogarty need to be standing up and take the pressure off of him. Because if I'm Tex right now, I'm thinking, fuck me, I can't go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why is he trying to carry the team when these other kids should be taken over by now?
He's in the twilight of his career, and he's having to slog and fucking soccer it off the ground because his back's cooked. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Fogg has just been around long enough that he should be able to take the reins by now. And I mean, he did kick 2 goals.
Yep.
So that's something. that's better than no goals.
I think we just need to see someone kick more than 2 goals.
Yeah,
I want
that's
to
a
see
good point.
any
I wanna
one of
see a
our
bag,
players,
just-
I don't care who it is, kick 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One person. Just be like, oh, he had a really good game as a forward. I can't pick one game from a forward for the Crows this year where I sit back and I think he had a ripper of a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Maybe we put Riley O'Brien at full forward.
He's kicked a goal this year.
Yeah. Oh,
Can't
did
hurt.
he?
That's one more
I
than a
think I
few
might have
people.
missed that. Which game?
The Geelong game, because we sung Sweet Caroline when the game was dead.
Yes.
What a vibe it was.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, that might just be the answer. Where is the answer? Did he play?
No.
He's been playing down back in the SANFL, so they're probably hesitant to bring him up forward
Shit.
because he's done the Fogarty of 2019 and gone the other way. But
The
Nah,
answer,
let's just try him.
Himmelberg for anyone who doesn't know. The dragon answer.
now, not for me to sound like a broken record because I've said it the last few weeks, but rotations through the middle again, I'm intrigued. And there was an interesting one on the weekend because we had one where we won a centre clearance with a midfield of Rankin, Rankin, Crouch, and I think Dawson. And we literally one clearance, Rankin kicked it forward. We kicked the goal within about maybe a minute and a half. What do you reckon you would do at the next centre bounce after that? You've just seen the plan has come together really well. We've kicked a goal. It's been a rarity this year. What do you do when you go back to the centre? Let's play
just change it right up.
Yeah. You know what we went with the next bounce? We went with Crouch, Berry, and Laird. I'm bewildered.
It's hard. It's hard to understand where they're coming from with this. You know, if they're trying new things, like, sure, but if you try something new and it works, surely you try it again. Surely you're not just like, hey, that was good, that worked. All right, back to the old way.
Yeah, it just feels like when you're watching it, nothing is changing. Like, it's the same shit over and over again, and I just don't know what the hell is going on in that coaching box.
Yeah, it was weird because it was before this game, right, when Nick's came out and he's like, like, I think we've figured out what's going wrong.
Yeah.
We're going to fix it. And then it's just like, but you just did the exact same thing that you've done all year.
Which then just in turn makes people even more annoyed because it's like then you don't know what the issue is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The CBA numbers again were interesting. It was good. Saligo got more of a run in there. We had Laird with 16, who was our most. Dawson had 13. He was our second most. Saligo also had 13. Crouch had 12. Berry had 6. He only came on just after half time and he still had almost half the amount of our second most. Rankin also had 6, which was nice to see, and that was all that we had rotating through the middle. Another week of Josh Rochelle not getting a run through the guts, which is interesting. Would like to see that change a little bit this week, but we all know that it won't. Next up, Soph, I don't know if you have any notes. You don't have any notes for these two players, okay? No Fogalicious or Laird of Roses
Do
here.
they deserve it? I don't know.
No, they
Probably
don't.
Next point is, how is this even close? We touched on this a little bit earlier. The scoreline flatters the fuck out of us. We got absolutely towed up everywhere. It's just that Melbourne couldn't kick.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's actually hard to watch.
Yeah.
Because there's not much positive to the footy and the style that we're playing in at the moment. So
it's not like
I don't
last
know
year
where
where
it
you
goes
lose a
from here.
game, but you're like, shit, it was still a good game. Like, I enjoyed watching it. This year it's like, that sucked. And we sucked.
Yeah, like I was saying, like a lot of, like, obviously being gathered around, there was a lot of neutrals at that game, and I was there with enemy of the pod, Harry Wall, who's a Port supporter, and yeah, even he was just saying like, this is a tough watch. Like this is just not good footy. I don't think we even watched after halftime.
Tuned right out. Yeah,
we just tuned out. Like there was that little glimpse where things looked cool in the things looked cool. Crows were like cruising along, you know, hang 10 in the last quarter. Shake out.
so cute.
I'm trying to sound young and hip.
Yeah, but that happened at the Geelong game as well. There was like the thing, you know, we came back in that last quarter.
They build
and
hope
we're like,
up.
oh my god. And then when that happened, I was like, we're gonna lose by like 6 points or something.
Yeah.
Same thing happened in the Gold Coast game.
Yeah.
Shit for 3 quarters, and then we started coming back and to lose by less than a goal or whatever. I don't get it.
Just be consistently
I
bad,
don't get
please.
The third quarter was probably where we came back, and we still got outscored by Melbourne. We kicked 3 goals, 1 to 4 goals, 6. And the third quarter was when we looked our best, and Melbourne still had, what's that, 4 goals, 6, 10, 3 goals, 1. They had 6 more scoring shots than us.
Oh boy,
It's just grim.
It's rough. It's very rough.
There's no, I don't know. There's no sunshine and rainbows here. If anyone's tuning in, listening, and looking for a bit of positivity about this weekend, you
I
like
find
cream
myself,
self.
because there was expectations attached to this year and we're clearly not doing anything, I find myself watching each game now trying to think, like watching the game and at the end of it thinking, did I see any positives out of that I haven't seen throughout the rest of the year, which is essentially what the coaches are doing anyway when they're like, what can we take out of that game? And I found myself doing the same thing being there on Thursday night, and I just couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like walking out of the ground afterwards, and you're like,
Yeah.
Like I wasn't disappointed because I didn't think we were going to win.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy because I didn't see anything that stood out to me above the rest of the games this year. It was just kind of like okay, let's go home
yeah.
kind of thing.
Just
It was
just
like,
real neutral. Yeah.
It was just like, to me, I reacted the same as I would at the Geelong and Bulldogs game.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
it.
oh, yeah.
It's just that sure was a game of football.
Yeah.
That
But
existed.
the thing is, that was an actual entertaining close game
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah, so at least you had that element to it.
Yeah,
but our
yeah.
game didn't really even have
No,
that. It was
so
just,
it was just like-
very neutral. If you were wearing your mood ring, it would be like skin coloured.
Literally.
Yeah.
I love
It'd
that.
it'd probably like dissolve into the finger. Just become a part of it. Yeah, right.
this guy's got no emotions at all.
It's
The neutral
interesting.
My
mood
mood
ring.
ring's turned into an extra wrinkle on my neck.
Can we all get matching mood rings and wear them to the football and see what happens?
We should.
Oh, we should.
Yeah. All right. The mood rings, are they real? Are they science? Are they science?
I feel like if
That's a
there's
weird
one person
question.
here that's an expert, Soph, I'm looking at you.
Just Google are mood rings science.
We'll come back to this very shortly when Soph finds out if mood rings are real or if they're
Of
fake.
their science,
But
yeah.
interesting you mentioned that air feeling walking out of the ground. I don't know if it's because the bar was just so low that it kind of felt like an improvement or what it was. But I walked out of that, I was like, yeah, okay, that was slightly better than the other weeks.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
It was shit, but it
yeah.
was slightly better.
I didn't even think that because I thought it was that flattering that we only lost by 15 points. And I was like, I mean, we should have lost by 7 goals, but okay, we lost by 15 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you guys like to learn about mood rings?
Hell yeah, we would.
Anything. Can we talk about something other than the crows, please?
As your fingers get hotter or colder in response to bodily changes, mood rings were expected to change colour to reflect these changes. Whether these changes truly reflect mood changes, though, is questionable. No direct link between a particular mood and a specific colour has ever been confirmed.
Oh, wow.
They're a scam.
Boy.
This is what scientists need to be working on. I don't care about any other scientific advances. I want
Give me a mood
ring
ring.
scientists, please.
Give me an accurate mood ring ASAP.
All right, sorry guys. Attention.
All right. Now, speaking of walking out of the game once more, we had a very good time afterwards at the walk and talk. Well, Jade and I had a good time on the hill before we even got to the walk and talk with
Yeah.
new friend of the pod. Can we say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Garland, new friend of the pod, I reckon.
Yeah.
Good blokes. We'll hear his
Harry
thoughts
was
very
wearing
shortly.
a crom beanie, which was cool.
The vibes are on.
Yeah.
From the
Pity the
Kick
game
It
was
Forward
off.
podcast.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They had a
Indeed.
show on Saturday night as well. Really well, a really good show from all reports.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Good
Beautiful.
lads. Good lads they are.
Indeed, indeed. And then we got around to the walk and talk. Was anyone here actually at the walk and talk when all of the, high profile people actually went through? Because
No.
no. All right. Well,
Sophie?
I went there very briefly for like 3 minutes, and that's when Kados and Broden
Brilliant. Yeah.
were there
Yeah.
for a brief moment, which was just sit back and watch the magic happen.
exactly right.
That's so beautiful. That's a
Broden.
great get. Broden
We
is
love
probably
it.
my favourite person in the footy sphere. He's
Broden-
a beautiful man.
I'm
What
sure
about
he's
me?
a beautiful man, but I don't get the name.
It's
I just
an
don't
awful
understand
name,
it. I'm
isn't
sorry, mate.
Broden.
Brody or Braden? Pick one.
Pick one. What are you doing? That's the same as I really hate the name Rhett. It's like you're Brett. You're like
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
like the
Whoa.
opposite of Broden would be Brady.
Brady.
Instead of Braden and Brody,
Brody.
it'd be Brady.
Brady.
There
But he's
is-
gone Broden.
Brady is generally a name, like Brady in Shorestack.
No idea.
There is a
I
guy called
don't know
Brady.
who the fuck that is. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll pass that feedback along to Broden for you. Your name sucks. You're all right, but your name sucks.
Tell him I'll brainstorm some new names for him. And I'll get back
I mean,
to
it's
it.
not his fault. He didn't
No, he
pick
didn't
that
choose
as
it.
his name.
No.
At least I don't think so.
So his parents, shame on you. But continue.
So yeah, check that out over on our YouTube. As old mate Lucky Dan, was it not, that was doing the interviews? Yeah,
he
yeah.
was indeed. He was
Yeah,
indeed.
down from the Riverland for the weekend. So
As a matter of
Check that
fact,
out.
we actually have our best 3 voicemails to play, and one of them just happens to be from the walk and talk.
oh,
Should we get into it?
Oh
Go on.
my God.
Crowject. It's Jade, the person on the Crowject. You will not believe who I'm with. The one and only. Josh Charlotte. What happened, Josh? What the fuck happened?
Tough night. Guys worked so hard. Tex was great out there. You need me to get an absolute couple of Salmon Kleenex tissues though, because you guys are all. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Too much pressure. What have you guys done to me?
The Crows. We're fun.
No, thank you. Love the Crowject and love everything you guys do.
Josh, legend.
Wow, so well spoken
That
by
pretty
the man
much
that
sums
sells our shows. The pressure in Texas good at that.
It was the pressure of being on the Crowject,
Come on,
alright? We're a
Josh.
big platform.
There was some Kleenex tissues in there somewhere, I think.
I'm not sure what for, but yeah, he was prepping to get ready to call 5AA.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he actually did
Yeah, I don't know if he actually
or
got
not,
there,
but
we probably took
yeah.
up too
Good
much of his
on him.
time. you know.
probably.
Do you know who my big celebrity, not that's a bad word for it, the celebrity that I had a good old chat to in the hill? Only because I've got a thing where I don't really like going up to people because I just feel like it's a bit like, just let them have a good time. No one wants to talk to me. I'm just a little gremlin. But I was standing on the hill right next to Warnie from DT Talk, and I thought, I'm going to have a chat to him. Great bloke. You know Warnie?
Yes, I do.
He's a beautiful man.
He actually has a show next week as well.
Oh, he told me
At the Arkaba Hotel.
Yeah,
Yep.
he told me to come along.
Yeah, so if you
can I
haven't...
come?
Yeah, bloody oath. I'll get you on a door list.
Yeah, all right.
But if you haven't purchased your tickets, I believe it's April 17th.
Something like that.
And there
Yeah, is
are
it
still tickets available.
Tuesday
around
or
fun.
Wednesday next week. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you get down and head along. Yeah, Elodie's probably going to have a 1v1 session with him in the band room just so that she can bone up on her Fantasyland knowledge.
Yeah, he said to me,
and
he's
pass
like,
it on.
the first thing he said to me is, what are you ranked in fantasy? And I'm like, next question.
But I try hard.
I'm trying. I'm just a little girl.
Should have got our friend Dylan's ranking while you were there. He was at 50 on Friday night.
Oh,
So you
wow.
could've-
Actually, I did see that, but that's you can't say your ranking halfway through a round.
Yeah, you
it
can.
has to be the end of a
If
round.
I was there halfway
no,
through
because
the
you've got
round, I'd
more
be telling
players
everyone.
playing than other
If that's
people.
the case, I'm going to fucking... The first game of next year, I'm just going to roster Richmond and Carlton players. And I'll be number one for a solid 120 minutes.
There you go.
Get it done. You win the weekly prize.
Yay! All right, next one, because I want to save the best one for last.
I just don't know where to even begin with this football club. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm just sad. Just really f***ing sad. I just don't get how we go from a f***ing team that should have made f***ing finals this year, came down to one f***ing dodgy decision, and we're back to f***ing 2020. Yeah, I'm gonna go cry now.
I feel that deeply.
So Josh Garlett was talking about the Kleenex tissues for that bloke.
It all makes sense now.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree. I think that the footy we played in 2020 wasn't great at all. And yeah, it's the effort's just not there. No good. I've been crying myself to sleep every night too.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm not ashamed to say it.
All right, last but not least, this guy's come out of the blue, and he's a revelation in these voicemail messages. Max, if you're listening to that, listening to this, hit us up.
Hello, people of the Crowject. Max from Melbourne here, but I'm in Adelaide at the moment. Long time, third time. I stand by what I said last week. James Riley is the biggest loss this club has ever had, on or off field. Yes, I mean that. Yes, I know exactly what I'm saying. Scott Burns moved from our back line, which sucked last year, to our forward line this year. Guess what? It sucks. You know what I mean? Go home, boys. Figure out where you've done wrong and make it better. Our forward line synergy f***ing sucks. It sucks. We've had so many opportunities. We had more inside 50s. We had equal opportunity to have a good scoring shot at them. And what do? We f***ed it. Unsurprising. Bring back Riley 2025. Scott Burns off. He needs to... He's a nice guy. I've played cricket with him. He's a nice guy. Scott Burns. Bring back Riley and we'll actually be good next year instead of just this dog forward synergy that I cannot stand.
Right,
I love that.
Now, Max, a couple of reasons I want you to hit us up. Firstly, we'll send you a beanie or something, because I like the cut of your jib. Second, I want to know, Scott Burns, is he bowl on leggies? Is he a batter? Is he rolling over right arm mediums? Like, what's the go?
Come on, give us some inside info.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued with that. I picture him as like a medium pacer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I reckon he'd be good at a cut shot.
Yeah.
Just rocking on the back foot.
Lean back. Just
Well, maybe he needs to be less focused on that and more focused on the fucking Adelaide Football Club, eh?
I reckon he'd be a real offside operator. Couple cover drives. Oh, beautiful.
It'll be good to know. Hit us up, Max. Let us know.
100%. And if you're listening right now and didn't hear your voicemail from over the weekend, they will be at the end of the pod. And if you want to give us a call, maybe you want to give us a call right now. I don't know. Don't know what you're doing. Just call in at 82465498 and let us know. Leave your thoughts on the upcoming game. Leave your thoughts during the game. Leave your thoughts after the game. Leave your thoughts about Scott Burns and what sort of cricket he would be playing. We don't mind. We'll listen to anything.
Feel free to call us twice this weekend. I'd like to know your first half analysis. It'll be good to get a couple next week that are at halftime, and then who knows what's going to happen in the second half. Probably a whole lot of nothing. But then we'll play a couple from the end of the game and see how people's moods either change or don't.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. Let's see how we go. And if you want to hear some more segments, you want to hear us talk a little bit more about many different things, head to patreon.com/Crowject. If you want to leave some thoughts on games on our social media, head to Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere you like. And speaking of, let's get into your thoughts from this week. Elodie, I believe you've got some Instagram comments in front of you there.
I do indeed. We've had quite a few people write in with their opinions this week. Everyone's wanting to have their say, which is fair enough. We generally do tend to get a lot more after a loss than a win. But let's see what we got. We got Travis Archdell on Insta, who I think this is his coaching notes to send through to Nixie. We've got Dawes/Laird rotating back flank, Saligo guts, Dowling forward flank, McHenry or Parnell out. What do we think about that?
Yeah. Pistol.
Yeah.
I thought that was a weird selection in the first place. I don't know.
Yeah, just strange.
What do you reckon, Kareem?
I missed it. I'm sorry.
I knew that you did, so I asked. You're just like in another world there. This dude thinks that Dawson Laird should be rotating back flank, Saligo in the guts, and Dowling forward flank.
Don't mind it.
Yeah.
Give it a
I like
tick.
the Dawson and Laird part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we got to lose? Come on.
That's it.
We've got Houston Fitzgerald who says, Rush way too goal hungry.
At the end, yes. I can see why he said it, because there are a few opportunities with Rochelle at the end, and he burnt it.
Yeah.
Or he kicked behinds. But, I mean, at least you're trying to score.
Yeah, exactly. There's a balance of between, going forward has been shit, so he's taking it on the shoulders and going, like in the Gold Coast game in round one where he had those couple of shots from 50 and just outside. I like him taking it on.
And it's not
Show
like
us
we
some initiative.
necessarily kicked straight then anyway.
Yeah.
We were already 8 goals 13. What's 8 goals 14?
Exactly. Just have a crack, light it up.
What's 8 goals 15? Just keep it going.
I mean, they kicked 10 goals 18. We were probably on track for the same score if we had another 4 scoring shots.
Yeah. We got Tyler Holmes who says Berry, Crouch and Laird can't play in the same team. There's no pace in that midfield. Agree with that.
Big tick.
We've been saying it forever.
Can't give it enough ticks.
And lastly, we've got PDC2211 who says, feel like pure shit, just want 10-goal Tommy back.
Yes.
The best sub of all time, 10-goal Tommy.
Can you please...
When he's got his shoes on.
Can you please also, Elodie, read out... Which one?
Can't you just read it out?
Yeah, I'll read it out.
You're going to charades it to me?
Yeah,
What?
Luke Smith. Life is full of misery. Why can every other footy fan enjoy games and not us, man? Fuck. Now, I'd go as far as to say that I don't want us to open gather round next year, because it was really deflating. Well, it's not that it was deflating, but it's like I'd rather not watch that as the first game when we are the way we are at the moment.
I quite liked it because it was good to get it over with. It was like, we knew we were going to lose and it was just kind of like, that's it. It's done. Now we can enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
So I liked it in that respect.
Realistically, we're going to be in a primetime spot. It's going to be us and Port in prime time. So you're either going to have Thursday night, Friday night or Saturday night.
And that's fine, but next year I'd prefer if Port opened it. And Port probably will open it because they're the better Adelaide team. So they'll start off. And I think the crowd numbers show that even though we are dog shit at the minute, we got more fans to the game than any other. So it's not like supporters aren't sticking fat. They'll come Friday night, Saturday night.
Probably depends on other marquee games, because that probably is one that they would look at, like Anzac Day, Easter weekend if you get a home game. So if they get the opening game of Gather Round, maybe we pick up something else somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know.
And look, I get the sentiment of that guy, but at the same time, on Sunday I joined the Gold Coast cheer squad for the day, and boy, oh boy, that would be a tough team to support.
I don't know if North would be much better either.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I get the sentiment, but at the same time, yeah, but like I don't think we're the only ones in the shit. It feels that way. It does feel that way, and I think the false hope coming into the season as well does make it worse. But yeah, shit, there's some other pretty crap teams to support too.
Yeah, imagine being West Coast.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anyone on Facebook at the moment here?
I've got Twitter.
You've got Twitter?
I'll get Facebook.
Let's head over to Twitter.
What are we doing? Well, let's do a top three. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Justin Chiggy Cummings. Not willing to move the ball quickly going forward often enough. Give ourselves opportunities and we can't execute, or we take too long and bomb into a flooded 50. Missing that drive that gave us success last year. Looking forward to pulling the Guernsey on and sitting in front of the TV and watching us go 1-4 and work towards sneaking into finals.
Yeah, go on. Rate it. If we sink Carlton this week, I'm happy with the season, to be honest. If we sink Carlton this week, fuck it. We can go 16-0 for the last few rounds. I don't care. Beat Carlton at home, and that would be huge.
Bailey Thorpe. Just no connection between mids and forwards. Was either forwards giving nothing for mids, or when they were mids, were looking out wide. Prime example, 3.5 minutes to go with 3 goals needed, and Keane decides to go out wide to Rankin, shanks it out on the full, we lose. Also, just look too slow. Other teams pressure catch us too easily.
Yep. And it seems like every time we get the ball, the other team's set up already.
Wade Taylor. Another wasted game in front of goal. Seriously, 8 goals 15 in a game is crap. In 4 games, we've only got into double-figure goals once. Cannot understand how we can go from the highest scoring and most efficient side in the AFL last season to amateur Division 7 reserves football this year. With games coming up against Carlton, Essendon, Port, Collingwood and Brisbane, I think it's time to put the cue in the rack and look at season 2025.
Hearing all those names, hearing all those names of the games we've got coming up, oh my gosh.
Essendon is the most winnable
out
of those.
Yeah, and we haven't beaten Essendon in quite a while. So that's not good signs.
Although it should be at home though.
Yeah,
It is
Friday.
at
It's a
home,
Friday
Because
night,
Carlton's
prime
obviously
time.
Yeah.
And we know how much we love Essendon on a Friday night in prime time. We've played them twice in the last 5 years and scored, I think, about 4 goals against them on Friday night games.
Yeah, this is not looking
grim.
great.
It's not on my birthday this year, so it's all right.
Okay.
It could be okay.
Thank God for that. That's all I actually really cared about, you know.
Pretty much.
I
Just let
didn't
me be
really care
happy
about
for
the
my
Crows,
birthday.
yeah.
Thanks.
Twitter, much of the same over on Twitter. It's really Che said they do this every single home game, go down by just under 5 goals, kick 2-3 quick ones, get our hopes up just to let us down. We were talking about that earlier. Pete said ball movement still stilted, forward 50 entry still lacking. Rochelle needs to go back to the 2s and develop his game. Nankervis a positive and needs to stay in the side. And lastly, we have Jedi Jazza, who said, Sligo needs to be a permanent mid, best on ground for us. Laird and Crouch need neck surgery. They're allergic to turning their heads towards the forward line. Good signs from Cook and Nank. Issue with Tex, ? Goal kicking below his standards. Keane and Maxi among the best again.
100%.
So, yeah, this guy's pretty on the money, I reckon.
This is level-headed feedback from Twitter.
No. I ignored the other 25 comments. I'm like, suck every single coach we have.
It's like a needle in a haystack, but there are some people
It's
with
funny that you
brains,
say
you
that
know.
because I've seen the conversation a little bit on Twitter at the moment. A lot of people are saying we just need to restart our whole rebuild again.
No.
Based off 4
Yikes.
games of footy.
Yikes.
So
Pull your head in if that's your thoughts. That's pretty much the thought process. Now, does anyone else have anything to add about this game before we move on and forget it forever?
Please, can we move on and forget it forever?
Sounds good. All right. Well, we'll go on to the news for this week, and I've written a point here on the run sheet that I forgot to add in, or get Pete to add in for this before we jump into the others. Don't know if anyone saw Ned McHenry during last week before Gather Round talking about his rev-up speech against Fremantle and what he was talking about?
No.
Well, he was on the breakfast show with Will Goodings, a friend of the pod, and he was talking about how he had some hedges at home that were a bit messy. So he messaged Tex for a hedge trimmer because he knew Tex had a hedge trimmer. And Tex came and cut the hedges for him. And he said, this is ridiculous. As ridiculous and as cathartic as our season has been. The hedges went through some adversity. You got to cut them back. You got to cut them right back, and then they'll grow back and be beautiful. And Ned was talking about this in the pre-game rev-up speech before Fremantle to get the boys up and about.
So that's why we fucking lost.
We're the hedge. We are the hedge right
Do you know
now.
what gets me excited for some football? Gardening. Bloody love it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm amazed by that.
So that was the great stuff. And if you want to hear, that is genuinely his words. I'm not just making that up for an article or something. That was posted on the 5AA
Let's put him in
Twitter.
a leadership group. Let's make it 10 people. Get him in.
You know, might as well.
Yeah,
Might as
So
well.
we might be losing games, but yeah, the hedges around the club are going to be looking to be beautiful.
Priorities.
Tex is the only one with a hedge trimmer. But, you know,
They
it's
need
right.
to do. Does anyone? Oh, you guys are all from the south. In the north, the Hungry Jacks at Teacher Plaza that have the hedges that spell out Hungry Jacks.
Oh,
They need to do that.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's iconic.
why does the North have that?
Sorry,
Literally.
you're welcome.
Dirty North.
Maybe we should
Welcome,
go
take
like
it to
cut
the
our own
south.
at Morford Vale Hungry Jacks or something like that.
Most of the people in the North can't spell, can they?
Wow.
Yeah, it actually says Hungry Jacks.
Where's the you?
What's Hungry Jacks?
Oh my
All right. Now, we're speaking about some music in the pre-roll. We move on to this piece of news. Guy Sebastian is our new number one ticket holder of the club.
Yes.
it's good to
Shannon
have-
Knoll robbed again.
Yeah.
He's a Crows
Big
supporter,
Crows
but-
fan, Shannon Knoll.
What happened to Leighton Hewitt?
He's not relevant anymore, is he? Hasn't he been retired for years?
We've had a couple. We've had Adam Scott.
His son's about to be relevant, though, isn't he? His son's.
Maybe.
We'll get him a
Make
ticket.
him, get him a ticket.
Him
Yeah,
and Guy
well,
Sebastian can have a boxing match or
Cruz
something.
will be the
Just-
number one ticket holder in like 5-10 years.
Yeah.
There we go. And you heard it here first. Lock it in.
Just a quick side note. I laughed way too much at our co-host Connor, who thought that the number one ticket
my
holder was
gosh.
the person who had bought the most tickets for that year.
I was going to mention that.
I laughed really hard at that. Someone asked what that means, and
I'm literally Googling it right now because I had no idea what it actually meant.
It's basically just a token. You're the first member of the club. Is
Yeah.
usually given to someone who's famous or of importance.
Person
so-
who holds membership ticket number one of a particular sporting club.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
I spent majority of my life thinking that it just meant that they had the most memberships or tickets for the club.
that's so silly.
As in every year the club would choose someone big and they would give them a certain large sum amount of tickets to give out to people.
That's valid. I'm just picturing Guy Sebastian signing up on crowsmembership.com and being like, fuck, I've used that email already. On to the next one.
Just frantically.
Imagine how many gaps you'd get for that if you went to
GuySebastian@gmail.com. GuySebastian74@gmail.com. What's everyone's favourite Guy Sebastian song?
I
I don't know.
choir. Now we're singing with the choir.
Going to the pre-roll the other week, the Angels brought me here.
Oh, the iconic
original.
number one, man.
Good old Guy Sebastian. Huh?
I'll go the Like It Like That one.
Oh,
then.
that's a
That
good
is
one
actually
too,
good as well, yeah.
My number one has to be Elevator Love.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
banger.
hello.
Video clip's good too. It's got
Yeah.
Jennifer Hawkins, is it? It's,
Yep,
yeah,
I think so.
it's Jennifer
Yeah.
Hawkins, Miss Universe Australia.
Fucking doesn't
You know.
she look smoking hot too?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Oh boy.
That's the best 3 minutes in an elevator ever.
Yeah, banger. Actually, I'm a Guy Sebastian fan. Seems like a good guy.
And he's a Crows fan, so,
Yeah.
Guy, if you're listening right now, you want to come on, just send us a message. We'll gladly have you.
I'm sure he's going to jump that gun at that.
100%.
And if you got a spare out of those 300 tickets that you got,
we really do with a couple.
The thing is, the next closest person has 297, so he can't give
He
four
can't
away,
give-
or he won't be the number one ticket holder anymore.
Just
Very
buy,
ticket holders.
do we got pet memberships or anything like that? Maybe memberships, buy a couple of those.
Just top yourself up. Soph, do you have a favourite Guy Sebastian song?
I'd have to look it up. Don't worry about me.
Who's that girl was also a good guy, Sebastian.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
That's
a
not a bad
banger.
That goes hard.
See, it's got some good songs, guys.
Battle Scars with Lupe
Yeah.
Fiasco.
Yeah, oh, that's a
That
really
one
good
hit.
too.
Years
Wow,
ago,
Guy
that was
Sebastian's
top.
actually good. Who would have thought?
God.
Shannon Noel
Better
wasn't
than our
robbed
shitty
after
football
all.
team, that's for sure.
Born and bred at Paradise Church.
Didn't he go to Golden Grove High School as well?
I think
So,
In our
I think it was in
Are you
the
thinking of Reece
area.
Maston?
Always, but that's
yeah.
irrelevant.
Irrelevant to this conversation.
Oh, gap tooth. All right, let's continue. Unless you guys want to talk about Reece Maston more.
Oh, mate, the phenomenon when he first came out, like Supre selling all the Little Rockers merch, that was incredible.
Very recently, he did a gig at Elizabeth Bowland, which I feel like you've really hit rock bottom.
$150 for this.
But you get a free game of bowling after.
You
Yeah.
got a frozen Coke and a game
Yeah,
of
a
bowling.
hot dog from the fucking...
Guy Sebastian did grow up in Golden Grove, so there you go.
Yeah,
He's a
there you
local
go.
boy.
Was
That's
he?
our suburb.
He can't have been singing about Golden Grove when he said the Angels brought me here. Sure.
Wow, Ben.
And then they rolled me in carpet.
Maybe he was an angel because he got rolled in cut. Anyway, moving on. We'll go on to gather around and talking about that. If we want to start with the around the grounds before we get into our big experiences of the weekend, and there's plenty to talk about.
We can sort of do it as we go.
Yeah.
Hey? We'll just talk about each
can.
night and each game as we go.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
it'll be
idea.
good.
Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Let's
So
get
we
it.
obviously had our game. We've talked about that. Any off the field highlights of Thursday night for anyone?
Oh, other than starting drinking at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Oh,
Ben
Ben was feeling
He was
himself.
rough.
One main
was up.
highlight.
Yeah.
So, picture this. It's halftime.
I'm
You're
picturing it.
outside and you ask your mate to buy you some hot chips. Right? Anyway, you've been out there for about 5 minutes. You come in, you're like, oh, you know what? Not 100% sure if they're going to remember to buy me hot chips. So I'm going to get some just in case. Next thing you know, you get back to the hill to your spot. They've bought you some chips as well. Now you've got 2 chips. That was Elodie.
That was
and she
me.
came through with the chips.
I come
That
through
was
with the chips
highlight
and I
of
see
Thursday
Cream
night.
coming the other way with chips and I'm like, I just bought you chips. And prior to this, Cream interrupts a conversation I was having with a friend to say,
Yeah.
hey, can you buy me some chips? And he's got a little plastic bag full of cash.
Yeah.
He gives me cash from his little cash bag.
I kept offering her a coin bag full of cash to buy me shit.
And I'm like, you can't even use that at the Oval.
And isn't that just fucking criminal? I keep buying stuff for work, and then you give me your receipt and they give you the petty cash back. They obviously reimburse you for it. So I'm just walking into the Adelaide Oval with $65 in a coin bag. And I'm like, well, I've got to get rid of it somehow.
So the rest
And every
of us,
time I pick it out, every time I pull it out of my pocket, I don't want your coin bag.
so the rest of us are depressed about the game. Cream's just smiling with his ears. This is pretty great.
Like a Cheshire cat, double stacking the chippies.
What a highlight, hey?
Oh,
So yeah, Ben, how did the drinking for 14 hours go?
Yeah, that was good. We were situated at a place which was a 2-minute walk from KFC, which we went to 5 times, I think, before we left.
Wait, did you stay at a hotel?
No, just a mate's place.
Okay.
And then, so we started there pre's early on and then stumbled down to the bus and then in. The bus ride was fun. The bus ride was really fun, going up Henley Beach Road at peak hour traffic into the Oval. As you can
Yeah.
imagine, traffic was good.
While your bladder was full of like fine
Yes.
leaks of alcohol. Yeah.
And then we got to Curry Street and we were stopped in the middle lane for literally 10 minutes, like not moving. We were 200 metres from our stop and we were like, can we just get out here? Like, we all need a piss. We're like 2 minutes away from the stop. Just let us out. And the driver's like, nah, can't let you out, mate. Can't let you out. And we're like, but we're here. We're in the bike lane. We're there. We're ready to go. And he's like, nah. And we drove like a minute up the road after waiting 10 minutes. He's like, righto, everyone out. We're like, yeah, thanks, mate. Good.
love it.
You go.
That's all right. I was going to say my highlight from Thursday night was meeting Stiffy John Cock.
Oh yeah, that's a good
I
one.
saw those photos.
I know. He was so lovely. He was actually a very, very sweet man. And I said to him, I went up to him at the cast, I said, Stiffy, I tried to speak to you outside Adelaide Oval and you were too busy punching darts to talk to me. And he said, yeah, I love a dart. I said, yeah, I can tell. He was very happy for a chat, and we had a good chat, and then he told me that I made him feel old, and I was like, I'm very sorry. And I was like, you know what? I was like, you're a legend. I fucking love you. And he was like, I love you too, and he gave me a big hug.
Aww.
So he was a very lovely guy.
I met him quite a few times during his playing days, and yeah, he was always like he was the one that was always at the front of like the social stuff, and he's like a fairly quiet. Well, back then he was a fairly like quiet, reserved dude, but he was always so friendly. You know,
he was such a gem. Yeah. Lovely guy.
I forgot the other favourite part of Thursday night. Picture this.
Oh, Jesus.
You leave the ground, and you don't know how you're gonna get back to your car, and your car's fucking 30 minutes away, and you're like, okay, because I was walking with Elodie. I was like, you're not getting an Uber in the city because how are they going to find anywhere? You're not getting a bus because the bus goes nowhere near where your fucking car is, or you don't want to wait 40 minutes.
That's two problems.
So I'd resigned myself to walking about 5.5 k's. So I've walked down to the intersection of King William and North Terrace, and at one point I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to get a cab. You turn right, walk down past the Cass to try and get a cab, and just randomly bump into two mates standing on the side of the road that didn't even go into the game that you'd seen earlier in the day, and they've already got an Uber sorted, and you get a free lift back. The best.
Nice.
The best. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Just who I was looking for.
All right, we better keep moving on to the next game. So we had Brisbane versus North Melbourne Friday afternoon at Norwood Oval. 70-point win by Brisbane. Anyone have the pleasure of being at this game?
Thank fuck.
Unfortunately not.
I was at work, and that's actually one of the few places I would less rather be.
I bought tickets for this game back forever ago, and then I couldn't go because I had work, and I ended up giving them to a friend of the show, Dan Linky, who's a big North Melbourne supporter, and I messaged him at halftime just saying, Dan, I'm so sorry for giving you those tickets, and his reply to me was 3 words. It just said, I want to die. I thought, that's very fitting. I'm so sorry, Dan.
Valid.
Why does Brisbane and Joe Danaher the last 2 years in a row get handed the golden tickets for Gather Round? Last year they played North Melbourne, Danaher kicked like 9. This year they play fucking
Melbourne?
Yeah. They played West Coast last year.
No,
this
they
year
played
they played North Melbourne
Last
at
year?
Mount Barker.
Yep.
I was at that game.
Yeah, they played him again, and he's kicked, 5-goal-2 or something?
Yep.
Joe Danaher owns Gather Round. He's kicked 14 goals in 2 games.
He's the number 1 ticket holder.
Give me a ticket, Joe.
Peter Malinowski's his best friend.
So moving on to Friday night, we had another belting. We had
Almost the exact same score as well, by the way.
Yeah. We had Port getting up by 69 points over Essendon.
God, this is a snooze fest after halftime.
This was like another example of a game where I watched to start with. I was like, this is pretty good footy for first quarter.
Yeah.
And then I tuned so far out of it. I don't think I watched another second of what was actually happening on field.
Yeah, not completely lost interest.
Connor Rosie's that good. He's that good.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
And it's good to see such a young kid. I can't believe I'm saying this about Port Adelaide. It's good to see such a young kid get given the captaincy and not let it affect him mentally in the way that he plays. I think that was the knock on Travis Boak back in the day when he was the captain. Yeah. The fact that it might have changed him but I mean, fuck it. Didn't he have a game?
Yeah, I had a ripper.
This is a great game for social gatherings.
yeah, exactly.
Or footy.
Because, didn't really care. The second half, everyone was pretty tuned out. Yeah, it was good vibes on the hill.
Yeah. The hill was popping.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I had a really good night. I'm trying to remember now.
Was Friday night the Mexican wave, or was that Saturday?
Saturday.
Everything happened on Saturday night.
Saturday was a big one.
It was
an epic.
Let's move on to Saturday. We had anyone head up to Mount Barker on Saturday to see West Coast versus Sydney, which actually ended up being a much better game than I think everyone was expecting. With Sydney getting up by 26 points, and Ben's not happy about this because it's ruined his mum team.
We will touch on this on Toot of the Week, or should we just, No, Toot of the Week it is.
All right. There you go. That's Toot of the Week. And then moving back to Adelaide Oval for the double header. Now this was a good time.
This is where we got serious.
Double headers are always really dangerous if you if you're having a drink or two, that's a lot. That's a lot of hours of drinking. So
Or 2, she says.
So we started off with Freo versus Carlton, which was actually a pretty cracking game, to be fair. I mean, it was a bit low scoring, but it was a really
a bit slow at the start,
fierce
but
contest.
it picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Unfortunate the way that it ended with the free kick.
Yeah, with an abuse where the umpire didn't actually hear what was said. But
But I didn't like your
Did you see
tone.
the claim that came out that he's now said that he was actually abusing himself? Like he was having a dig at himself for fucking it up, and then the umpire thought he was talking to him.
Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing
Likely
way.
story after the fact, though.
Yeah, true. It was a bit of a disappointing
But Alex
way
Pearce was the
for
one that came out and told it. How would he
Yeah,
lie?
yeah, my mate Alex Pearce, he's on my scarf that
It's
I
now
put
on the floor.
because I was hot, not because I hate Freo. I was wearing a Freo scarf that day just because they were. I looked at all the teams and I was like, I don't want to support any of these, but Freo is probably the lesser of all the evils. That was a really good game. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
And then moving on to the Rain and Cats and Dogs game where Geelong got up by 4 points
Fucking
over the
bullshit.
Doggies.
Dogs got robbed.
Can I just give a shout out to Tom Liberatore? Has to be one of the individual all-time great games ever played. Mm-hmm. Did you see what he had on Saturday night?
Didn't see the stats, but I know he was good.
He had like 155 Supercoach points. I liked that.
You tell me that this doesn't impress you, and I'll tell you where to go.
I feel like he's pretty underrated given that the Bulldogs are quite heavy on the stars that they have in the midfield.
So he had 35 touches, 9 tackles, and a goal, right? 28 of those possessions are contested. He had 10 score involvements, 36 pressure acts, 19 clearances, 5 inside 50s.
Man.
All right.
That
He's
was an
old, but sign him up at the
all-time
Crows.
great game, yeah.
You're never going to see 19 clearances and 28 contested touches ever,
No.
let alone
that was-
having 35 and a goal and fucking 9 tackles. Oh, like,
Jesus.
unbelievable.
That's really good.
That's good stuff. See, I feel like it's not though as though he's like I'm just having a stretch.
I'm wondering how far forward he's going to go. It's like,
I'm just having a stretch. The body's a bit stiff. There's a lot of wrestling and dancing on the hill during this game, actually. It felt like it's not as if he's like underrated, but it's more so that like they kind of take it in turns of having like banging games. It's like Bont, Trelaw, when
Bailey
he's
Smith.
not Dunahami, Baz, Liver.
Jack McRae when he's not the
Jack
sub.
McGrath, when he's it's been weird this year.
he's gone
cracking
next
game.
year.
Cracking
He
game
has to
for
go.
him.
Yeah.
And this was a great day on the hill, was it not?
It was
Yeah,
very
was
much
it?
so.
Yeah.
Just on this game, that score review with the mark for Stengel, the Bulldogs got fucked. So not only did they play on before they called the review, so it shouldn't be reviewed to start with, but also that was over the line. I was in line. I was
yes, I
in
know the one you're
line with the
talking
point
about now.
post. It was over the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got fucked, and they lose by 4 points.
Jesus. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah, imagine-
a score of your Adelaide
Ever
Crows fucking
seen
up
that
in a
happen
game.
before?
It was just a great night all around.
It was.
There was a lot of old mate Peter, our Crowject boss, showed up for the second half of the second game and just came in just flying, didn't he? There was a lot of antics being had on the hill.
You had a great call before the game saying it would be great if they played, I don't know the proper name of the song, but Hey Baby,
Hey
Hoo-Ha.
Baby, yeah. By
And
DJ
then they did?
Elodie. Yeah, they did. They listened.
That went off. And so did Taylor Swift, seeing all the grown men. Shut up, Cream. Seeing all the grown men on the oval dancing and belting out Taylor Swift's love story. It was something else.
Stop mentioning that snake on the butt.
No, it was special. It was special. And then the Mexican wave.
I counted
that was great.
about 12 laps of the oval before it finally died out. It was epic.
It was insane. 'Cause where we were sitting, we were watching it go around, and it got past the hill, past the scoreboard, and it kind of died out. And you're like, all right, this is it. It's over. And then it gets behind the cheer squad. Fuck, it was
The
on
southern
again.
end,
It was off.
they were killing it.
Yeah.
And then obviously it always dies on the members' side, like right behind the
Yeah.
interchange. And then just at the very end, before it went to the hill again, the whole like levels just got up into it and it started again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great scenes.
Pumping.
Just a good day of footy.
That was
Good day
culture.
of football all around. This is Aussie culture. Mexican waves is our Aussie culture somehow. All right, moving on to Sunday, we had the Suns and the Giants up at Mount Barker on the Sunday at midday.
Good game.
Yeah, Giants won by 28 points, and that was a very good game. High scoring, just a quick,
And it was close. Like, it was pretty much on par at three-quarter time, and then Giants just blew it away in the last quarter. But it was a great game to be at.
It was. I had the honour of being in the Gold Coast cheer squad with a
Beautiful.
friend of the show, Bear, and I went out and held the banner.
One of
for
my
the game.
favourite things I saw at this game was that the guy standing next to me had made his own Giants shirt. So he was telling his mates, he went to Bunnings and like colour matched the paint for the shirt from a picture of a GWS Guernsey. And he literally painted this t-shirt himself to look like a Giants Guernsey.
Aw.
And he's like, but he was like, it's not breathable because it's just fucking layers of paint. He's like, I'm fucking... And I was like, he's like, with him, and then his mate's like, with the amount of money you spent on the paint and all that and the time, would you not have just been better buying a Giant shirt? He's like, yeah, probably.
But it's about the story. It's
You know,
fun.
and it looks great. I liked it.
Well, that's like the Guernsey that that Bear let me wear. He's got a few spare Gold Coast Guernseys. He's giving me this Guernsey, like, it's a very special Guernsey. It's a player issue Guernsey. I'm like, oh, okay. It's a training Guernsey for a mate called Jesse Joyce, who I'm gonna admit I don't remember, but was played a couple of games for the Gold Coast back near the start. So it's his training jumper, player worn, but Bear has gone and put the number 9 on the back for Gary Ablett of Jesse Joyce's jumper.
I was going to
And
say, he definitely didn't put it on there for fucking Ainsworth.
Definitely not. So that was good. That was fun. And then my other fun time was my friend of the pod, Steph, asked me to go and buy her a Lucretius badge, Gold Coast, their second team. She said, can you go buy me a Lucretius badge? I said, yeah. Went up there and most of the badges were gone, no Lucretius. I was like, I'll get her something else. What can I get her? Have a look, there's about 5 badges left. Rory Atkins. So I've come back to her saying, good news and bad news. No Lucretius, but there you go. She was over the moon.
I thought you were going to say Jesse Joyce. We've been trying to sell this for 5 years.
I asked some dudes that were like big Gold Coast supporters, why is Rory Atkins not playing? And they paused for a minute and just said, he's just not very good at football.
Fair.
I mean, that's a good summary.
People forget that Gold Coast had 7 changes in this
Yeah,
game
they
too.
did. I didn't know who bloody half the blokes on the field were.
Yeah. And
It was-
I think it's the first time ever that 3 players in their debut game kicked a goal for the same team.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know who the other one is, but I know that Sam Clohessy, the defender, did.
Yep.
Ethan Reid, their second ruck, he did. And someone else did. So
Yeah.
good on him.
Wow. Yeah, good on him. Bleeding the youth. Oh,
Yeah.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, fuck.
I think my highlight from this game, I just have one more, is I had a mate who was doing the 9 of 9 all the grounds. He had a footy and he was just getting random celebrities to sign it. He was sitting there and he was very hungover from the night before, and Connor Rosie was standing up behind our table and he gave the ball to a little kid to go and get the signature from Connor Rosie. A 25-year-old man, by the way. He was like, go and get this signed by Connor Rosie for me. Didn't give him anything for it. It was like, thanks, mate. And the kid just walked off. It was like an 8-year-old kid.
Oh, Jesus.
And what? He got it signed?
Yeah, he went up and got it signed. He was like, here you go. Oh, thanks.
My other highlight from this game, where we were standing on the hill, there was a guy near us who was doing some wholesome heckling to the players. He was yelling out, asking if certain players had put sunscreen on, saying that they had a nice tan.
That's Ray areas from that Collingwood game a couple of years ago with Pete.
That had a nice smile. That's a lovely leg. I think that he was even complimenting the umpires.
Yeah, it was a really positive operator.
My favourite part was also, firstly, the lack of signal at that oval. Trying to meet up with literally anyone. I was parked in a paddock on a terrible angle. It took us 40 minutes to get out of said car park. Meanwhile, Ben eventually gets back to us and being like, oh, we're already on the highway, on the freeway back to Adelaide. And I'm like, I haven't moved out of my car spot yet.
And we were the ones worried about being boxed in because we parked in the bus park, in the shuttle park, and we're like, fuck, the car's in front of us is half a metre away. The car behind us is half a metre away. We get back to the car, we're fine, we're straight out. And then we're halfway down the freeway and Sophie's like, yeah, we've just got into the car, we're on our way.
I parked at the bus shuttle as well. Worked well.
Yeah, it was great. And it was free compared to the $15 parking on the other side.
But I had the comfort of my own car. And that's all I really
all
had
that
going
matters.
for me.
Moving over to Norwood, we had St Kilda getting up by 7 points over Richmond in what was a very strange game. And Ross Lyon had some more strange comments about the game, didn't he, Cream?
I'm connecting to the iPad now. Please bear with me.
When I saw that St Kilda won this, I was like, what the hell? I checked the scores at halftime, 11 points there. It was like one of their lowest halftime scores.
Yeah, it's
and I was
just
like,
no way.
And then I saw that St Kilda won, and I was like,
and there's a really valid explanation for why they won, and Ross Lyon will explain it to us very shortly once Cream.
Just while Cream gets it up.
Has
A
it up.
wise man once
What's it called?
said, bad kicking is bad football. Is what a wise man once said. But yeah, this was a real shitter. This was real bad. We went to a pub before we went to the Collingwood Hawthorn game. So we're like, you know what, we got some time. Went to a burger bar, charged a phone in a random wall port that had a USB port, which was nice. And we were just watching this game. We were like, fuck, this is bad. That was worse than our game.
yeah. I didn't get to watch a second of it, but it didn't look too good from the scoreline and all that.
Didn't do it much justice, but for fantasy players, it was a great game.
Oh, yeah.
Wanganeen Malira,
Jeez,
Bono
how many
went off.
tons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tons.
Dusty was on about 75 points at halftime. He got slowed down a little bit in the second half, but it was a great game to watch, as I was literally watching a game full from my fingertips, as I had an opponent who had Bono and Wanganeen Malira ran me down, which was quite depressing, but that's okay.
That's all right. You'll be all right.
Yep.
How's the tech going over there, Cream?
We're getting there.
It's not going overly well. While we're at it.
Well, we'll just touch on the next game while you're doing that. We had the Jack Ginnivan Cup, which slipped through his fingers.
Really kicked off.
I really wanted Jack Ginnivan to either have the absolute best game of his career or the absolute worst game of his career. Like, nothing in between. I wanted one of those things to happen. Didn't care which, but neither happened. He was just kind of had a Jack Ginnivan game.
The funniest thing was when he kicked that goal and he went right up in the like he went up to the cheer squad. He's like, yeah. And he like runs back, just runs into the Collingwood huddle, and Darcy Moore literally just grabbed him and chucked him to the floor.
Little twerp.
Oh my god.
It's alright. It's not that important, Cream. We can just touch on.
It's important for Golden Toot of the Week.
What?
That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, it's all right. Anyway, Ross Lyon, one of the reporter people, basically asked him what happened at halftime, how'd you turn the game around, and he says with a deadpan straight face that they actually got a UFO to land and got 23 aliens to come out and put them in St Kilda Guernseys.
I know Pete hates this, but
I've just said the whole story anyway. Don't bother playing. You can go watch it in your own time.
Okay.
And it was, just very, very good from the man. It was very deadpan. Just said, we put St Kilda Guernseys on all these aliens and just switched the team all the way over. And just like, more coaches need to have a sense of humour like that.
It's the ending that also gets me, because he's like, but.
I love how the second coming of Ross Lyon, he's so different. Like he used to be such like, now he's just so chill. Like he's like cool Ross Lyon.
Yeah, now he just wears Birkenstocks.
Yeah, it's
and
the
gets
Berks.
like,
It's the Berks.
100%. With that Hawthorn Collingwood game, that was dead at halftime.
Yeah.
The group of people that we were with, 3/4 of them left at halftime.
Most of them left because they said, I'm not sitting through this. And I was almost going to leave, but I thought, I'll stick it out. And it was a cracking second half.
Ended up being very good. And the way that the hill got around Hawthorn as they were powering back, except for this man over here.
We let him back in the door, right? And don't worry, I stuck it up him too when we won. No, but like Elodie with the Gold Coast, I was out on the ground holding up the banner for Collingwood, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't realise how many people it takes to lift up a banner. Until you carry one out on the ground.
Yep.
Like, there must have been 15 people here. Because you got ropes on each side. Then you've got people pushing up the poles on each side, making sure that when you stretch it out that the crepe paper isn't splitting and everything. Like,
it's a lot harder than you'd expect. I have a lot more appreciation for banners now.
Yeah.
Like, I was struggling with the little rope thing. It was
and like, you're laying it down on the oval first, but it's blustery as fuck. So you've actually got people standing at the top of the banner
to hold it down.
With their feet, just so that it doesn't start blowing in the wind and fuck up. And it's like, I was looking at it and I was like, it says Pat Lipinski 100 games. I was like, fuck, you'd hate to fuck his banner up before he runs out. It is milestone.
And then the cheer squad start crying, and Nathan Buckley comes across, and he had. No, that was a different game.
And they run through it, and they give you no time. They give you no time at all. Like, we're like, okay, so let's start folding it over. And we're like 10 seconds into folding it, almost ready to pick it up. Woman's like, come on, you gotta get it up. You gotta get it up, you don't have any time.
Yeah, it's all very like rush, and I thought there was a lot of assumed knowledge, like before doing it. Like no one told me what to do; they just gave me a rope and said, "Go on."
Yeah.
I was like,
Someone said, Anthony, you're on the pole. Just lift the pole and push it up. I was like, okay, no worries. But because there was 6 people on each side, I was like, I don't want to crowd around this pole and have one of the players run through me because I'm standing too close inside the pole. So I was just standing on my own to the side, like a metre away, like a dickhead.
oh, the trials and tribulations, eh?
But the better team won.
Yeah. I loved Cream being completely. Basically silent, a few little yells, but pretty like subdued throughout the game. As soon as the siren went, just let out a
Honestly, because fuck all those. No, I understand that they're all getting around Hawthorn because everyone, well, probably most people still, as a neutral supporter, would prefer to go against the non-Collingwood team. But I was getting little comments from behind me. As it got closer and closer, Cream's feeling nervous.
As someone standing behind you, I can confirm those comments.
I think it's also that like as a neutral supporter, you generally go for the underdog. Like that's just it's usually the way.
I just wanted to see something happen.
Yeah, that's it. I just wanted a close game. That's all.
How bad is Mabi or Chola?
He thought he was taking Mark of the Year every time the ball came down.
Better keep moving. I guess the bumper episode for Gather Round, that's allowed, isn't it?
Yeah.
You guys are still listening.
It only happens once a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now we'll move on to non-gather round. It's basically a gather round in Melbourne probably this week. I haven't checked the fixture, but
like the other 23 rounds. Yeah.
We move on to play Carlton at Marvel Stadium Saturday afternoon, 4:35 p.m. Rip snorter time slot with probably Dwayne Russell, Kelly Underwood and the works on the commentary team. Who do we think comes in and out of this side?
Please give Dowling a run.
Because I want to say Billy Dowling, but
Yeah.
Van Berle came out in a presser today and was like, he was a bit stiff not to get it last week and then he didn't play on the weekend. AKA, he's not going to play this week because he didn't get a game last week, so we'll see him next week.
Apparently hinted to some changes in the midfield mix though, so
He did.
will be interesting to see.
See, the thing is,
what
why
kind of
is
changes
that?
those are.
Why is that his fault? Did he not play because he was the first emergency last week? Why did he not play?
Oh, no, he didn't play this week because gather round there was no SANFL.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is that they brought Berry back in when he hadn't played a game either because he was a listed emergency.
Exactly.
So it doesn't make any sense.
And Billy Dowling's played well enough for long enough that I'm sorry, if he's had a week off and he's a young kid, then he's going to have the freshest legs out of everyone on the fucking ground. So why wouldn't you play him? Like, it's not... Don't hold it against him that he didn't play on the weekend. No one played outside of an AFL team, and you should have fucking played him last week.
Yeah, exactly.
So he should have played a fucking game.
Yeah, so if you're playing Barry when he hadn't played a game, you can play Dowling when he hadn't played a game. That's basically, short of it. I think I'd like to see Dowling get a run. I don't know, because, I've not really watched much SNFL or anything, but I just want to see Himmelberg come in. Just do something. I just want something. Bring in the answer.
He's not the answer.
He's not.
I'm sorry.
It really depends on what the question is. But
Mackay and Kerno are going to kick 9 between them.
Oh gosh, this is going to be dreadful.
Can't Himmelberg be a forward again? Can't that just happen?
Won't really help you. How many are you going to kick? 10?
Can't you put, I don't know, can't Keane be a forward? I don't know. I'm just
now you're clutching at straws.
Does Butts normally play on Kerno? Or does he normally play on Mackay?
Would.
Yeah, because he
you'd think
generally
so.
holds him pretty well.
I reckon Butts is playing full forward this week.
Just swap them all around.
Tex on Kerno. Yeah,
Isaac Rankin.
Yeah, just flip right out of the sheet, and then Nix is going to grab it, he's going to and he's just going to flip the whole thing upside down. And
No, he's going to turn it sideways. We're going to have the two wings up top and at the bottom, and then the forwards go to the wings.
Yeah, I don't mind that, actually. Got to try something.
So who's going to man up on Mackay? You would think Keane.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Which might be all right because he'll give a bit of damage going the other way potentially with his touches that he's been having. So, might be a decent move. Kerno's probably a bit too quick for him.
I just think that Orazio Fantasia's done fuck all this year, and I would hate for him to, especially because he's come from Port, and he's not that good anymore, and he hasn't been good for a while. I'd just hate for him to come out and kick 4 or something.
Seems like a week for someone like a Matt Cottrell or a Owies or someone.
Fucking Owies.
Why is his mouth so big?
I don't know. I call him the
secrets.
barometer because he pops up one time every game, kicks a goal, and he opens his mouth so wide he looks like he could eat a fucking garbage bin. Oh, trash mouth always.
Oh my god. Jeez.
How many ruck contests is Cripps going to beat Rob in?
7.
7. All right, good guess.
Probably a couple. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see where we go with the team this week. I don't even want to predict it because I don't know where they'll go. What I said last week, just nothing.
Let's
like
just give a team and a winning margin each. Yep.
Yeah.
Sophie, you go first.
Crows by 4 points.
Carlton by 46.
Way to bring the mood down.
Look, I've been backing the Crows every week and it hasn't worked in my favour, so I'm going to go Carlton by 12.
12. Gee, I'll be happy if we get within 12, to be perfectly honest with you. Carlton by... Yeah, I want to go around Cream's mark. I'm going to say 48.
What's the line?
I was just trying to look at that, but the signal is like Mount Barker in here at the moment.
I think like the 1 to 39 and the 40 plus market for Carlton, it'll be right around that.
The line's only 23.
Okay.
Fucking smash Carlton. Smash them.
40 plus 285. Oh, jeez.
In honour of the great man, because it was his birthday yesterday, Leighton, I'm going to go with a draw.
I would probably be pretty pleased with that, actually.
I'm not mad at that.
That would make me the angriest. If we're not going to fucking lose,
Happy birthday,
But then we
Leighton.
can be
then win.
0-4-1.
Yeah, exactly. Add a new number into the mix.
And considering that bit of history that was brought up today by Max Lawton at the AFL, that this is the first time in VAFL history that there are 4 or more teams on 0-4, we can get out of it.
Exactly.
Oh, come on.
0-1-4. Oh, yeah. 0-1-4. I want to be 0-1-4. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're all very optimistic going into this week. Soph is optimistic going into this week, but
I'm trying.
we'll see how we go. We are heading to Segment Street shortly. We're taking a right, going down Segment Street, boom, crash, etc. It's all coming up soon. So we will talk Fantasyland. We will go the preview for this week coming up. We'll go our full gather round review, Beryl and Cecil of the week, being fucked by the Sydney Swans in a multi, and much, much more.
Can I do my Twitter of the week now? Because the main pod.
Absolutely.
Before we go, because I want everybody to hear this.
Go on.
I don't want this to be just for the Patreons. Golden Twitter of the week, right? So there has to be a fucking. There it is.
That's playing out loud and not through the headphones right now because it's not connected to the thing. This is going extremely well.
Oh, boy. All right. If you just had a moment of silence there.
That was supposed to be a theme song. It's because my phone won't connect to the Bluetooth thing. But you know what? Kelly Underwood. I'm sorry, but she's got to go. Surely enough is enough.
There we go.
This is why Soph's on the pots and pans. She's come to the rescue.
I really love how it goes from one ear to the other.
That's nice.
And in between, it's like a circular a halo of
It's a bit of
farts.
ASMR, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like it.
So Kelly Underwood, surely you gotta go. Like, we've got a lot of good female commentators in the game. You've got people like Aaron Phillips, who you've got on the boundary line doing special comments and that kind of stuff. Get them in a booth. I wonder. Firstly, I feel sorry for West Coast fans. It's like the AFL's kicking them while they're down. Kelly Underwood's done 3 of their first 4 games of the year. They're fucking bad enough as it is, without resorting to putting her on commentary for every one of their games. On the weekend, let's firstly go with the players. The incorrect pronunciation. That's not.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, you really butchered that one.
All right, we'll try again. This is why Peter doesn't like.
Changes with Comden and Greenbird in.
So, Greenbird, right?
Big Hugh Greenberg.
Fucking Hugh Greenbird, right?
Is he related to Big Bear?
Yeah. I like how she fucks up so much, but she does it with such conviction, like she genuinely believes she's right every time she speaks. So she doesn't know the team to start with, hence the orange team. She doesn't know the players. I went to a event, or like a show, with David Croft, Formula 1 commentator. And he said the one thing you do as a commentator is you make sure that everything you say is correct. So, for example, when there's a car crash, you only report on what you know. You don't speculate. You make sure you get the people right, get their names right, because it's very important. You're broadcasting to a lot of people. But she makes mistakes weekly, if not fortnightly. Nobody likes her at all. And lastly, she doesn't even know what year she's in. Let's fast forward to the start of the second quarter.
Inside the arc, he sends it on its way, it's offline. So the first score of the second quarter. Can they win a quarter of football for the first time in 2014?
Oh, boy.
It's 10 years ago, mate. They won a flag in 2018.
Oh, that is rough.
Like, she's a genuine laughing stock, and don't get me wrong, like, I don't want to pot shot everything you do, but sooner or later, surely you realise it's not for you. And Kelly Underwood, it's not for you. I think, let's go ahead with the cream is cool. She won't be commentating games 2 years from now. I think they'll politely push her to the side and say, you gave it a good crack, but
Yeah.
as more AFLW players retire and they get into commentary, I think she'll slowly be pushed to the side because people like Chelsea Randall and everyone who play the game, all the commentators these days are ex-players, so I think she'll slowly get phased out. Kelly, writing's on the wall.
Well said by you, Kareem. I think in general, the commentators should have a higher turnover. Like, I just think you hear, like, you hear just the same shit all the time. Like, give us a higher turnover. Get some new voices in there. Get some new faces in there.
Get Elodie in there.
That's what I'm angling for right now.
You're an ex-player. You even broke your leg playing. You know plenty about the game.
Ex-Golden Grove Kookaburra star.
And there's a lot of recent... I was thinking about it the other day. A lot of the people now who commentate have... or are in the media, have retired in the last 10 years. I say this predominantly male because obviously it is still predominantly male. But like Luke Darcy and Jimmy Bartell's doing stuff now, Lee Montagne's doing stuff, Dale Thomas.
Nicky Dow.
Yeah. There's a lot of them that are, but it'll be good to see some more women as they retire. Obviously, it's only been going around for 7 years, but as they retire, they'll get in as well and it'll even it out and be more balanced.
I don't even hate the idea of people that aren't ex-football players being commentators. People that are actually good at media. Like, you don't have to have played football to be good at commentating football.
Like James Brayshaw.
Yeah.
You're a footy player.
Yeah, exactly. Like Eddie Maguire.
Like, if you know the game, that's great. And obviously, like Croft said when I went and saw him, it's just about doing the fundamentals, all right? If you can deliver it, then you're good. But, some people just can't.
Indeed. And on that bombshell, we will now head over to Segment Street. We'll take our right turn. So thank you very much for listening to the podcast tonight. Thank you very much to our Patreons. If you want to sign up and head across to patreon.com/Crowject for as little as $1 a month, a week, a month.
$1 a month.
All your
20
Crom
cents
gear,
a day.
cheap as cheap. You find it in your car, Cream, don't you?
Honestly.
Or the coin bag that you get from work.
Cream might even shout someone.
Honestly.
You could fund a few memberships
Come
with that
down
one.
to the Arca I'll give you $5. There's
5 months.
5 months of it.
Bang. Look at that. And if you want to get your merch, get your Crom merch as modelled on the table here in front of us. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, head to YouTube to watch it. We've got our Crom beanies, our Crom cordis, our Crom scarf. You can get Crom air freshener, stubby holders, pose, lanyards, and other things on there, as well as all of the Solely designs, t-shirts, jumpers, as whatever you may like. And speaking of Solely designs, Sophie, what have we learnt this evening?
Oh, we have learnt a plethora of things today,
Bang.
Ben. We have learnt Cream is the Crowject calculator. We've learnt Elodie is an Indian celebrity. And finally, mood rings. They're an absolute scam. People all over the world are being scammed by these rings, and we need to make a stop. We need to make a stand, because this is unacceptable.
I'll tell you what, if you didn't learn something from tonight's pod, I don't know where you're listening.
I agree.
Very well. And thank you for that, Sophie, and thank you very much for being with us this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cream.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Jade.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Elodie.
Thank you.
And this has been the Crowject. Get tuned into the game this weekend and go Crom.
Yeah,
Yep.
go Crom.
Not bomb.
No, Crom.
I just don't know where to even begin with this football club. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm just sad. Just really fucking sad. I just don't get how we go from a fucking team that should have made fucking finals this year, came down to one fucking dodgy decision, and we're back to fucking 2020. Yeah, I'm gonna go cry now.
Hello, people of the Crowject. Max from Melbourne here, but I'm in Adelaide at the moment. Long time, third time. I stand by what I said last week. James Rayleigh is the biggest loss this club has ever had, on or off field. Yes, I mean that. Yes, I know exactly what I'm saying. Scott Burns moved from our back line, which sucked last year, to our forward line this year. Guess what? It sucks. You know what I mean? Go home. Go home, boys. Figure out where you've done wrong and make it better. Our forward line synergy fucking sucks. It sucks. We've had so many opportunities. We had more inside 50s. We had equal opportunity to have a good scoring shot at them. And what do? We fucked it. Unsurprising. Bring back Rayleigh 2025. Fuck Scott Burns off. He's a nice guy. I've played cricket with him. He's a nice guy. But fuck Scott Burns. Bring back Rayleigh and we'll actually be good next year instead of just this dog shit forward synergy that I cannot stand. Fuck off.
Crowject. It's Jade, the person on the Crowject. You will not believe who I'm with. The one and only. Josh Scarlett. What happened, Josh? What the fuck happened?
Tough night. Guys worked so hard. Techs look great out there. You need me to get an absolute a Salmon Clinic tissues though, because you guys are all. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Too much pressure. What have you guys done to me?
The Crows. We're fucked.
No, thank you. Love the Crowject and love everything you guys do.
Josh, legend.
Hey, this is Oscar from the Patreon. That was, once again, fucking shit. Season's over. Fuck. I think there was a game, that game was fucking frustrating, fucking flat. There was a step in the right direction, I think. We were trying to move the ball. Wasn't working, but we were trying. There was intent. Now, if instead we just need to go quicker when we try and switch the ball, we just go slow, it's fucking shit. And the season's fucking done. It's great. Love this club. Fucking hell. I mean, Nick's is the coach. I've said it every week. I'll say it this week. Hopefully this is Melbourne 20, whatever the fuck, the year that they shut the bed year. And we win a flag in a couple of years. Count the Crom.
It's Hayden here. I'm not leaving a 5-minute essay this time. All I can say is I am fucking already dreading Carlton at Marvel next week, we are fucked.